While everyone's attention is drawn to Bethesda's upcoming action RPG Starfield, the company is providing more and more facts about the game ahead of its release later this year. Through conversations about the concept, concentration on exploration, and NASA's aesthetic in the new title, Starfield is starting to take shape. While much about the game is still unknown, there's no doubt that as the release date approaches, we will find out more exciting details. Stick around to find out everything you need to know about the changes in the upcoming Starfield game and other interesting recent gaming news that you don't want to miss. First, how Starfield is changing their companions. As the hype for the upcoming action RPG Starfield grows, the creators of the game are revealing further details about the game. But for the time being, fans of the game will have to make do with the little information they've been given and speculate on what the game may feature. Todd Howard and a few of his Bethesda colleagues delved deeper into some of the game's mechanics and narrative aspects, and a talk between some of the game's development team revealed in a recent Starfield video. They highlighted and put a lot of emphasis on companion characters and the player's interactions with them, which was a feature that created a lot of curiosity. According to reports, Starfield will follow in the footsteps of prior Bethesda games by adopting and expanding on some existing components in order to provide richness and complexity to companion relationships and character discussions. One game in particular, Bethesda's previous game, The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion, was highlighted as a source of inspiration. Interactions between the protagonist and the game's NPCs are a rich source of storytelling. When done correctly, by games adding a little something extra to these encounters, such as morality meters or even mini-games, such as in Oblivion, players are more likely to sit up and pay attention. With a wheel-based minigame and 4 conversational options for players to pick from, Oblivion's dialogue system was lively and distinctive. Starfield also wishes to elevate the in-game partners. As Bethesda attempts to make interactions between player characters and NPCs as impactful as possible, complex conversations between characters and the player is only one example of how Starfield will make its companion characters feel more lifelike. Meaningful relationships and exchanges will be critical in adding any kind of emotional depth to Starfield, stopping it from seeming as icy as its space environment. In a massive open-world game with a focus on players constructing their own narrative amid the turmoil. Starfield's companions are said to have differing viewpoints on the playable characters' activities, providing motivation for players to choose different courses based on who they wish to please or alienate. The addition of more reactive partners to the game adds an interesting aspect to the experience and may impact player decisions. Hopefully, they will elaborate further on the gameplay closer to the release date, as we are certain this is not the only exciting new feature they are incorporating. Next, Starfield's release date. If you weren't already aware, Starfield is Bethesda's first original RPG in 25 years, and it's set in the 24th century's grounded and realistic cosmos. We're getting a gradual stream of news about the game, and when you might expect to play it almost 3 years after it was revealed to be in the works. The official release date for Starfield is November 11th, 2022. On the first day, it'll be available on PC, Xbox, and as part of Game Pass. It seems like a long time, but thankfully, we will be getting our hands on the game this year, as long as there are no further delays. Now, while we all eagerly await Starfield's release, there are more exciting, highly anticipated games coming to our gaming consoles this year, some as soon as next month. Take a look at some awesome games coming this year that you don't want to miss. First up, we have the upcoming game Forspoken. Square Enix's next action RPG, formerly known as Project Athea, grabbed our curiosity when it first was presented during Sony's PS5 games presentation in 2020, and it's only gotten better since then. Forspoken will see players assume the role of Frey Holland, a young New Yorker who must use her newfound magical abilities to survive a thrilling, otherworldly adventure as she attempts to return home from the beautiful yet cruel land of Athea, where she's been transported. There's still a lot we don't know about Forspoken, but with magic at the core of combat and trailers revealing a team of wondrous creatures we can anticipate facing, it's a game fantasy genre players should keep an eye on. Next up, we have Evil Dead, which is dropping in May 2022. In this co-op and PvP shooter, the player takes on the role of Ash Williams and his friends. You play in a 4-person team and attempt to live by exploring, plundering, and locating crucial artifacts to close the gap between worlds, as well as managing your fear. It's a game based on all 3 Evil Dead films, as well as the TV show Ash vs. Evil Dead, so you know it's going to be good. Next, we have LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, April 2022. Fans of Star Wars and LEGO are in for a treat this year, as TT Games is going to release the latest game in the LEGO Star Wars franchise, LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, in April, following a handful of delays. Fans should be very excited as LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker series covers all 9 primary Star Wars films while providing players with hundreds of playable characters from every era of the saga. Players will be able to visit various iconic locations while playing through the different films in any order they desire, so they can create their own personalized adventure around the galaxy. Sounds pretty epic, right? We can't wait for this one to drop. Up next, Redfall, September 2022. Redfall is next up on our list. Redfall is a new open-world co-op shooter game. The story behind the game is set on the island town of Redfall, Massachusetts, which is overrun by vampires who have blocked out the daylight along with any access on or off the island. Basically, you're stuck with a small group of fellow survivors who must work together and use different weapons to become the ultimate team of vampire slayers. You can expect this game to grace your screens in September of this year. How exciting! Next, The House of the Dead Remake, April 2022. One of the most acclaimed light gun rail shooters in gaming history is the House of the Dead franchise. However, due to the creeping decline of arcade games, the House of the Dead hasn't released many new games in recent years. Still, the House of the Dead franchise is far from dead, and the remake for the Nintendo Switch is laying the groundwork for a comeback. The game is a light gun rail shooter, which means players are sent on a predetermined path to shoot down opponents while simultaneously looking for treasures and completing different tasks. The video game was meant to be out in March 2022, but it was pushed back to April, which we think is a terrific idea considering how busy March has been for game releases. Next up on our list is Gotham Knights. WB Games Montreal has been crafting a new Batman game. However, there's one big catch. Batman has been dead. Unlike other Batman games, this doesn't revolve around the superhero himself. Instead, the Gotham Knights are stepping in to protect the most dynamic and interactive Gotham City yet, with distinct abilities and skills accessible for each of the 4 knights, which include Red Hood, Robin, Nightwing, and Batgirl. In Batman's absence, expect a slew of different DC villains to try to seize control of Gotham City, meaning that the Gotham Knights will certainly have their hands full trying to fight them off. Up next, Saints Row Reboot, August 2022. We were supposed to get our hands on Saints Row in February, but now we'll have to wait a few extra months to experience the off-the-wall action we've come to anticipate. The new Saints Row is a reboot, not just another installment in the franchise. Before Saints Row devolved into fighting aliens, hitting people with phallic items, and other general oddities, the first 2 games in the series began out as a lot more serious and grounded take on gangland violence. The new Saints Row appears to be a cross between the two. There's still a lot to learn about the new revival, but it's one to keep an eye on for both fans and newcomers to the series, especially if you're seeking a more absurd alternative to GTA. And there you have it, everything you need to know about the upcoming game Starfield and some gameplays that will be featured, including the change-up of companions in the game. Additionally, we also delved into other games you need to look out for in 2022. Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below. Are you excited for Starfield to drop? What other game on our list are you excited for? Let us know down below. But if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching!